hackneyed description, but it fits the bill for this man. For 30 years, he was a fixture on CBS News, first as a 60 Minutes correspondent, then as anchor of the CBS Evening News, succeeding another broadcast legend, Walter Cronkite. But he did not retire. In fact, he might be working harder today than he ever has before, writing books like the New York Times bestseller, What Unites Us, Reflections on Patriotism, published this past November, anchoring The News with Dan Rather on the Young Turks, and hosting The Big Interview on Access TV, season 6 of which premieres tomorrow night with guest Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin. Yeah. This man has interviewed every president since Harry Truman, Saddam Hussein, and Weird Al Yankovic. Well, at least we have that last one in common. It is my absolute honor and privilege to welcome him to Running Late Tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Rather.
I'm here with the Trap Trebek himself.
The Trap Trebek himself. He knows. Someone else plays HQ here. Dan Rather, just call me the Trap Trebek. Bucket list. Where do we even begin, Mr. Rather? Where do we begin? How about minor league baseball?
Well, I'm a lifelong baseball fan.
Yeah.
I did do play-by-play baseball, professional baseball. The height of it for me, AAA American Association, 1959. I did play-by-play for the Houston Buffs, as in Houston Buffaloes. They're now known as the world champion Houston Astros.
The world champion Houston Astros, yes. And how very proud we are of them. Before CBS, you were doing play-by-play minor league baseball, and you were telling me that you had to recreate the games, right?
Yes, in those days, we did not travel with the team. And when the team was on the road in Minneapolis, St. Paul, or Omaha, I was in a studio in Houston, and there was a telegraph operator, tells you how long ago this has been, and the telegraph operator would send on a tape to our studio in Houston, just an outline. He would say, Fridley strikes out 3-2. And it's your job as the play-by-play person to recreate the game. And therefore you see that the tape says Fridley 3-2, so you say, here's the pitch, ground ball, shortstop. He's out at first base. And you make it up as you go along. The problem is sometimes the Western Union operators would take a long time going to the men's room or stop and get a couple of beers, and you were stuck with maybe a half hour trying to fill, not knowing what was happening.
And there was no UCB back then.
No.
So you had to improvise, you had to teach yourself. I love this. I mean, back they had Foley artists, sound engineers recreating the crowd noise, home runs. I mean, this is as a big baseball fan, to hear someone who was calling games back then is pretty wild. And you're a baseball fan to this day.
I am indeed.
A Mets fan.
Always have been since I was a kid. Yeah. Love the Astros because I grew up in Houston, but in New York, I root for the Mets.
How are we feeling about the Mets this year?
Here's a tip for you. You want to make some money? Bet on the Mets.
Bet on the Mets.
They'll be in the playoffs. The Yankees have a great team as well. I think it's going to be a great year for New York baseball. I sure hope so.
Another Subway Series, perhaps.
Did you happen to notice DeGrom pitching the other day? The hair was gone. I don't know who it was. DeGrom was pitching.
DeGrom cut his hair.
Cut his hair. There's no hair. Yeah,
well, he makes a good point. If the Mets pitching stays healthy, they'll be there in the playoffs. If it doesn't stay healthy, well, sayonara.
That's the X factor. Got to stay healthy. You know, there's a reason why I'm bringing up Mets and baseball, because this is like fun stuff. I don't really want to talk about the garbage fire happening outside, which is our country right now, but we were getting into it with Michael Black there. As someone who has sat in the anchor chair for so long and been reporting on news for over 50 years, has it ever been this bad?
Yes.
Oh,
it has been.
That's good. That's good to know.
Well, don't forget, we had a great civil war in the 1860s.
Well, I didn't think you went back that far, but...
and during the 1960s, we were badly split country because of the Vietnam War, and we had some little race riots in the streets. However, I will say that we've never had anything quite like this. I'm not saying this is the worst it's been, I am saying that this is unique. This is not normal, what's going
No.
on. We're better than this. We know we're better than this.
Yeah. A bold stance to take on 23rd and Lex.